What makes animation so unique is its art style. You can do so much stuff with animation that you can't do in live action. And we have so many animated movies coming out, so I figured to rank all the major ones by my excitement level. Now this list will include the major animated movies that have been announced. I'm not doing any small animated movie that most people don't know about. These are all the major ones that are coming out over the next few years. With that said, let's get started. Let's be honest, I won't watch this. I've seen the first one because I grew up on Paw Patrol, so I kind of wanted to see what they do with the movie. But yeah, I've completely grown out of this franchise or series. It's cool how they're still making movies for the newer generation, but it does not interest me at all. This has to be the last movie because I don't know if Paw Patrol is really dying anymore. I haven't really paid attention to any of that, but it's Paw Patrol. We got a first trailer for this the other day, and I don't know what DreamWorks is doing. Now, this is a popular show for preschoolers. Now, DreamWorks isn't a preschool studio. We got Shrek, How to Train Your Dragon, Puss in Boots 2, Wild Robot. We get all these mature stories made by DreamWorks, and then now we're getting Gabby's Dollhouse. I don't know what DreamWorks is doing. I don't know. But I'm only watching this movie because it's made from DreamWorks. The worst DreamWorks movie there is Spirited Untamed, a preschool show. So it doesn't really seem like preschool shows should be DreamWorks' go-to movies, but they're making Gabby's Dollhouse, so the trailer, exactly what I expected, a preschool show. This movie is that. But what makes me even more frustrated is that it's made from DreamWorks. What are we doing, DreamWorks? Remember Prince of Egypt, How to Train Your Dragon, Shrek? Those are not preschool properties. Why are we making Gabby's Dollhouse? No, this is simply though because I haven't seen the show. The show is very positive, has all this buzz around it, but I haven't seen the show to really judge this movie. I mean, like, I've seen an episode here and there, but I haven't seen the full show, so I can't really have any excitement towards the movie that I haven't seen the show on. So I don't really have anything to say about the Bluey movie. I'm curious to see what they will do, because if I know the show correctly, it's just a bunch of little shorts here and there with the dogs going through a journey with their parents and such, but not really movie material, so I'm definitely curious to see what they will do. And this movie comes out 2027. Will the Bluey train still be happening by then? Will Bluey still be as popular by then? I don't know. There's one thing that really brings down my excitement for this movie: influencer Smurf. Whose idea was it to put an influencer Smurf into this movie? I don't know. They should be fired. It's the worst idea ever. I remember watching the trailer, I was like, what? Influencer Smurf? What? And when we even get to the plot itself, they go to the real world. Animated movies that do that aren't really that interesting because they're not really creative. We're just bringing these characters into our world. There's nothing creative about that. And the plot is kind of like Trolls. This movie just seems generic and boring. Influencer Smurf, generic story. The animation style looks a bit interesting, but everything else is not really exciting enough to make me excited for it. No point. Why is this movie being created? Smurf is nowhere near as popular as it is today as it was back in the day. Now, SpongeBob is tricky because the first ever SpongeBob movie is really good. It's still good. Sponge Out of Water, I like, not love. The most recent SpongeBob movie in theaters, and we can even count the ones on Netflix, have been really bad. I don't know what they're doing with SpongeBob anymore, but it's just not the same franchise. I don't really know what to expect from Search of SquarePants. It could be on the level of the newer stuff, but also has a chance to be in the older stuff. I don't know. I haven't really seen any. There's no trailer to get me excited for it or nothing. I probably won't watch this in theaters. I don't know. The trailer really has to sell me on this movie to make me watch it in theaters. I don't know what they're doing with the SpongeBob IP anymore. It's kind of just all over the place by this point. They really need to fix that, and I hope this movie does that, but I'm not excited for it. Now, I haven't seen the Avatar show, so Again, my excitement for this movie is not really there. But out of everything I previously mentioned, I would like the Avatar show. I know that. I just haven't watched it. I know the Avatar show is made for me, but I just haven't watched it yet. It's like exactly my type of style for those type of shows. I need to watch the show in order for me to get excited for the movie. I have no idea what the plot is about the movie because I don't know the show, so I can't really get excited for a movie where I don't know the show of. But like I said, the show seems like my thing, so that's why it's higher on this list than some other movies, but I haven't seen the show. Now for the Minions movies, I like the first one. I also enjoyed the second one, not as much though. So the third one is obviously just here for money. That's why they're making it. But the second Minions movie, it had Gru back as a villain. So as long as they do that for the third movie, I'm excited for it. But from what we know right now about the plot, we just know there's another Minions movie coming out and might follow the same things of the second one. I don't know. We'll see. Second one, I did enjoy. Surprisingly, I did enjoy it a lot. But Despicable Me 4, fine. Plot is extremely messy. Hope Minions 3 is a huge improvement from that. And make it the best Minions movie of the trilogy, but make it better. It's way too late for an Angry Birds sequel, which is one of the main reasons why this movie is so low on this list, is because it's been almost 10 years since that second movie, and it just feels way too late to be making a sequel. It is. It's way too late. I like the first two movies, but I can't really tell you anything about them because it's just way too late to be making this movie. It comes out in 2027. The movie will be almost 10 years old by then. It's just way too late to be making this sequel, and Angry Birds isn't really as popular as it used to be, so it just feels like a sequel that I don't really know why we're making it. I'm interested in it, but it's just way too late. Okay, Elio is tricky. Because I'm excited for a new Pixar original film. Pixar has made some good projects recently. Win or Lose, underrated show, Inside Out 2, and Dream Productions. Those are really good. But Elemental, no. Absolutely not my thing. Some of the stuff on Disney Plus I do like, but Pixar is missing that flair of what they were back in the day. Taking risk, original films, with a deep, mature theme to the story, Incredibles, Toy Story, all those original movies in the 2000s, that's what Pixar was. Now they're sequels, and the original films aren't really the same thing. And watching the trailer for Elio, it's frustrating, because there's a lot of elements in there that I like. There's an emotional part that we hint at in the trailer, but the movie looks too goofy. It does. I hate to say this, but it looks like they're targeting kids. And that's not really what Pixar is to me. If there is a mature theme in there, if there is that adult element in there, I don't see it. I don't see it in the trailer at all. And if it's absent from the movie, then that's just breaking what Pixar was. This movie is so low because we got the trailer. Just saying it's a Pixar movie. If I haven't seen the trailer and you tell me there's a new Pixar movie coming out that's original, I'll be excited. But the trailer bumped down my excitement because it's not really what I want from Pixar. But I'm hoping the movie surprises me, but we'll find out in a month. Now, we're not getting this movie till 2028, which is a long time, but it's been a while since we got in the Dr. Seuss movie. I'm not familiar with the story. I know I read it, but I completely forgot everything about it. But we have not adapted this storyline yet, so I am interested in seeing what they do. I forgot the story, and we don't know really anything about the movie, and it's still a long time out. But it's another Dr. Seuss movie. We haven't gotten one of those in a long time. We are getting Cat in the Hat next year. I will talk about that later, but I'm interested in this movie. We have Sony Animated Pictures' next movie, Goat. Now, from everything I heard from CinemaCon and stuff, it's going to follow the same art style as Into the Spider-Verse, which automatically is interesting. Now, if we look at Sony Animation's film movies they made, about 90% of them are bad. Straight trash. They're not good. The 10% is Across the Spider-Verse and Mitchell's vs. Machines. So recently, Sony has been making good movies, which is why I think Goat will be good and I am interested in it. But we also have to keep in mind, The first 20 years of Sony animations were just nothing but bad movies. So, take that as you will, but since they've been good recently, I'm putting all that trust into Go, a new original movie. It's not going to be on the level of Spider-Verse or maybe even Mitchell's vs. the Machines, but I feel like there's something here, and I'm curious to see what they bring in February. Now we get to Cat in the Hat. Now I'm not expecting it to be like the live action version with the weird jokes and just over the top funniness like that. This one's definitely going to be more like the book. So, now this book I do obviously remember. I am curious to see what they do because that live action one, I know they're definitely not going to be following that at all. Maybe a hint of it, but I doubt it. Jim Carrey is Jim Carrey in that. But this movie is Dr. Seuss. Like I stated before, we haven't gotten a Dr. Seuss movie in a long time. And since I'm actually familiar more with the Cat in the Hat storyline, I'm more excited for it. I just want to see that first trailer. I'm very curious to see what they bring. Is it going to be like just like the book and like a book adaptation into the movie? Or what are they doing there? Are they going to change it up like the live action movie did? I don't know. But I definitely am curious. Now, DreamWorks, I feel like they are really confident in this movie. We got in our first trailer a long time ago. This movie comes out in August, and we got in the trailer almost a full year before then. I feel like DreamWorks is very confident in this movie. For me, though, I don't know. I like the first Bad Guys movies, but when looking at the trailer for the sequel, it just seems like your average sequel plot. There's nothing really interesting in there that makes it unique. Maybe that's what the books do. I understand that, but it seems like a generic plot. It seems like a generic sequel. But it still looks like it captures the magic of that first movie. It still looks like it still brings everything we liked about that first movie, but into the sequel. So I'm still excited for this movie. I'm just hoping the plot is a bit more than what the trailer seemed to show us. Now this is DreamWorks' I think first movie in 2026, and it's by the person that made Puss in Boots 2. That automatically gets me way excited for this movie, because if it's on the tier of Puss in Boots, then obviously DreamWorks has something here. But it's a mythology movie, being on an island and such like that. I'm interested. DreamWorks' original film by the person of Puss in Boots 2. Obviously there's something there, but I don't know enough about the movie to get too excited, but I am definitely interested in it. This is where we get our next Pixar original film, Hoppers. Now, all the behind the scenes stuff that we heard about them changing the theme because I don't know why. But this movie seems like an over-the-top original story. A person getting into a robot beaver's mind. That's a wild concept. But those wild concepts are the ones that normally work. Now it's just a matter of time of, does the trailer sell me? Because I was interested in Elio, but then they reworked it, delayed it, and then the newer trailers have not interested me the same way for Elio as that original trailer did back in 2023. Hopefully, with all the behind the scenes of Hoppers about them changing the theme of the story, hopefully it does not fall into the same trap as Elio. I'm still hoping Elio is good, but Pixar's just not really the same anymore. Hoppers, a trailer could sell me even more. It could bring down my excitement a lot, but Pixar original film, wild concept, definitely could work. I'm really counting Frozen 3 and Frozen 4 together because the creators have said that 3 and 4 are the same story, so 3 is probably going to end in like a cliffhanger, go to 4. I'm very curious to see what they do with Frozen 3. I have no idea what they're going to do because a 10-year gap between Frozen 2 and Frozen 3, so it's definitely going to age with its audience. But yeah, I'm very interested. I need some more plot. We're not getting this movie till 2027, but they want to do a 2-part journey. That interests me off the bat. Obviously, there's a big grand story you're wanting to tell, and I'm interested. Just telling me it's 2 parts makes me interested. And since it's 2 parts, I'm assuming it closes off the Frozen franchise, so I'm excited to see how they do that. Most of this is just borrowed trust from the first movie. Second one I like, just not the same. But I figure this will still bring the same heart and stuff that the first 2 movies brought with the same songs. And just still bring us a great movie. I want to know the plot. Again, it kind of feels too late for the sequel. I know Disney brought Blue Sky and such and then brought us Adventures of Buck Wild. So that's definitely something, but that was obviously made just to be something on Disney Plus. This one's coming to theaters, and I'm more excited for it than Frozen 3 just because you can do a lot more in the Ice Age franchise. Now, I do understand with the later installments in Ice Age, we kind of been separating ourselves from what Ice Age originally was, but I feel like there's still so much more we could do with Ice Age. Ice Age 5 kind of closed off the franchise in a way, but also we have all these new characters now. And I'm just curious to see what they do next. How do they continue this franchise after 10 years? What are we doing next? Because Ice Age 3 is my favorite Ice Age movie. So funny. So if you just bring all of that elements into Ice Age 6, you have something here, and I'm interested in seeing what they're gonna do. DC's Puppet animated movie. That's interesting. We got like a little frame from CinemaCon, I think. And the animation style is a huge swing. They're really risking it with this animation style. But just a dynamic duo storyline, I'm interested in. That is a really good storyline. And then you're throwing in animation puppets, which, from that first look at CinemaCon, like I said, it's a huge swing. They're really risking it. James Gunn is really risking it. And he doesn't know how to really fit it in the DCU, which is fine if he doesn't, because like I said, it's a huge swing. Having a huge risk just making this movie a puppet movie. We haven't gotten one of those movies in a long time, which bumps my excitement up because he wants to go risky. This movie will be good. James Gunn makes good movies. He's really risky with it. And those risky movies are the ones that get you more excited because obviously the studio has something and they want to go full for it into motion. It's a new idea that hasn't been done in a while and it could pay off into something bigger. I played Mario games when I was younger, but I didn't grow up on Mario when I was younger. Now, the first Mario movie basically introduced us to the world, so that means the sequel is very much going to continue building out this world. We're going to learn, maybe we'll do Mario in space. I know they're definitely going to bring Yoshi into the mix. There's just so many new characters you could add to the second movie. There's just so many different plot lines you could add to the second movie. That makes it feel more like Mario. And Illumination could definitely do a lot more with Mario 2. If they do it right, it should be better than the first movie. In every way, it should be better than the first movie. And although I didn't grow up on Mario, I still love playing those games. And you have so many characters from your catalog that you could choose from, that this movie could just be an expansion of the first movie, but with a better story. Now, I hated the idea of a Coco 2. We don't need a sequel to that movie. Now, they announced it 2 months ago. I have grown more to the idea of it. I'm liking more of the idea of a Coco 2, but still, we need more original movies from Pixar. But Coco 2, at first I was like, what could you do with a Coco 2? There's no storylines to follow for Coco 2. But I've seen more people break it down, and Coco's about death and loss. You could do a lot with that. Miguel could lose someone close to him. Miguel could die himself. You could do a lot with death, and you could continue to build out that theme of death. The theme that works so well with Pixar is going to be back in Coco, because you can't do Coco without the theme of death. You just can't. It can't really be the same thing. So since Pixar has that theme in Coco, it kind of excites me a bit more. I just wish Pixar went back to the original films. Coco's just borrowed trust, and over these past 2 months, it has grown to me a bit more. I'm not one to judge a book by its cover, but the animation, wow. Now, it has grown on me. When I first watched it, I thought it was horrendous, but it has grown on me a bit more. With that said, we recently got a story leak for it. Shrek comes to our world. What are we doing? DreamWorks. You're DreamWorks. Why is he coming to our world? He doesn't need to. Although I hate that storyline, I'm not the biggest fan of the animation. Puss in Boots had a lot of things going for it. The original Shrek is Shrek because of the humor and just the go for it storyline with the fairy tale stuff. Shrek 5 is missing all that fairy tale stuff, but as long as you have the humor, as long as you have the theme of Puss in Boots, it could be something. So my excitement is still there because I love that first Shrek movie. I love Puss in Boots too, so my excitement is still there. but really risky. It's no longer even a Shrek movie anymore. Shrek 4 was risking it of being in the category of Shrek, but even then, it still worked. Shrek coming to our world means they're going to be playing into the meme factor of Shrek. Automatically, that's a huge no. I have no idea what they're going to do. We'll find out next year, but still, this is a huge risk that you're going for if that story is true. Throughout this entire list, I talked about how Pixar needs to go back to original films. Incredibles 3, the only exception in here. The Incredibles is that superhero trilogy. Just need sequels to that movie because it's a superhero movie. You could do countless sequels to that. You could do so much more with that. Now Incredibles 2 is not on the same level as Incredibles 1, but it's still a really good sequel in my opinion. It's still a top 10 Pixar movie. So I'm expecting the same thing from Incredibles 2. I'm hoping we have a huge time jump to these kids are now adults. They're now the mantle that their parents were to them. They might even have their own kids now. You could do a lot with Incredibles 3. Superheroes can do countless things. And now that they're legal again too, you could do a lot more of that. Marvel has been doing it for like 60 projects now. Incredibles 3 can definitely deliver on the third movie. I've been waiting for a sequel to Zootopia 2 ever since the first one came out, and it's about time we got a sequel to it. Everything we've seen from CinemaCon has sold me. Everything we just heard about this movie has sold me. I'm waiting for that first trailer, Disney. When are we getting that first trailer? It could be out when this video is posted. I don't know. We're focusing more on reptiles now. And it's still following the same theme as the first Zootopia movie, which is what I love. Zootopia is that first movie because of that theme. You can't take that away without it still being Zootopia. And I can see that we're now bringing that into the second movie. We're still carrying it over into the second movie. And that's good. We're still getting that same theme. So that makes me excited that we're still capturing the same magic of that first movie. And everything we see in animation style, theme, pictures, it seems like it's still going to be that first movie, but a sequel. 10-year sequel finally getting paid off. Let's see it. Now on rewatch, Mutant Mayhem really worked for me. I loved it on my rewatch when watching it. The humor is absolutely hilarious. You can do so much with the sequel, especially since that Shredder is coming in the sequel. This movie is going to be great. It's going to be awesome. 2026 alone is going to be awesome. Most of these movies I mentioned on this list are 2026 films. This 2026 is going to be a packed year for movies. And we're getting a lot of great ones too. Christopher Nolan, Avengers, all these animated movies I have mentioned on this list. There are so many coming out. Mutant Mayhem, borrowed trust from the first film, but is 100% gonna deliver on the humor, the story, and just everything that was great about that first movie is gonna be transferred into the second one. And probably gonna have a better story because Shredder is now the villain. Shredder is the main villain of this franchise. So of course, story should be better. Toy Story 5. Now, do we need this sequel? Well, if it was after Toy Story 3, I will say, no, we do not need a sequel. But since Toy Story 4 ending I'm not a fan of, Toy Story 5 has a chance to undo that. And I love the idea of having technology as the main focus. Buzz Lightyear as the villain, well, in fact 50 Buzz Lightyears as the villain. I have no idea how that's going to work. I need more plot details for that, but Toy Story is my favorite movie of all time. Toy Story 3 is still up there as one of my favorite movies of all time. I love this franchise. Toy Story 3 had such a perfect ending that Toy Story 4 completely messed up. Toy Story 4 just on its own, I have a lot of problems with it, but I still like it. Toy Story 5 has a chance to follow the same roots of that original trilogy. It has a chance to undo the ending of Toy Story 4 and really send off this franchise for good. Have that emotional impact. This time around, we're going to be focusing a lot on Buzz and Jessie because Toy Story 4 was more about Woody. This time it's about Buzz and Jessie, which is good because we needed more of those characters in Toy Story 4. Just hope it doesn't fall into the same trap as Toy Story 4 and completely forgetting about all the other side characters because Toy Story 3 works so well because of all those characters still with them. As that family in Toy Story, you can't really have a Toy Story movie without all of them together. Hope Toy Story 5 doesn't run into that same trap. But it's a sequel to my favorite movie of all time. Of course I'm going to be excited for it, no matter what. Do I need to explain why this is at number 1? This movie is coming out in 2027. 2023, we got Across, left off on a huge cliffhanger. And CinemaCon happened, we got our first look at Beyond the Spider-Verse. Animation, 10 times better. It just looks like they're really taking their time with this movie. And this trilogy is going to be amazing. There's absolutely no reason why this movie should be bad. They're taking their time on the story. They're making sure the ending is absolutely fantastic. This trilogy will go down as one of the greatest trilogies of all time. The greatest Spider-Man trilogy of all time. It has so many things going for it that it's absolutely going to deliver. I'm not worried about the Sony animation problem, because obviously the Spider-Verse team knows what they're doing with this franchise, but they're going to pay off. And this long-awaited wait is definitely going to be worth it by the end. If you like this video, maybe these ones on the side ones to you too. Like, subscribe, see you guys next time. Goodbye.